Joining with us today is Mr. Navin Mehra, Regional Head of Cisco. Sir, so I would like to know that what's your opinion on what challenges do you face while encountering a zero trust approach?
Yeah, so thanks. I think this is today the prominent question with most of the decision makers. Uh, the threat landscape has really grown, very vast. With the hybrid work culture, I think ensuring zero trust, which is a continuous cycle, uh, is something which is very important. It's also challenging because they have to answer the board. They have to answer they have to ensure that they adopt the right technologies behind it. Well, when I see in terms of the challenges, uh, as the networks have become very borderless, as I said, the users have been hybrid across. How do you ensure that the right person is accessing the right resource? This is all about zero trust. Because data is basically today the crux of, and so are the users in terms of ensuring right productivity and access. So you need to ensure that you are giving the right access to those resources. At the same time, if there is a probable glitch, you should be able to revoke that access. So it's not just you given an access and it's done. It's a continuous process. So I think it's more of a journey, and the challenge is probably to keep it updated, to ensure that your workforce, to ensure that your a workspace, which is the networks, to ensure that your workload, which is the applications, all are secured, and all are given the right type of access and privileges to attain that. So it is a framework, it's a journey, it's an adoption of multiple technologies basically to achieve that. So this is what I feel in terms of challenges, and the areas in which the CISOs really need to focus or are focusing in addressing it.
Okay, sir, so I have a follow up question for you. As you mentioned the challenges right now, how do you think you address those challenges?
Well, Cisco has always been an innovator in terms of, or it always tries to simplify, its technology adoption approach. Uh, as cybersecurity over the past few years, especially post pandemic, has become a much more complex domain. In fact, I would really compliment the CISO and the security, evaluation teams and decision makers to probably choose the right technologies at time. Well, Cisco's approach is quite simple on the same logic. They try to make it quite simple in terms of its adoption, cut the complexity around any technology, ensure that it is holistic and comprehensive. You are not just addressing that one part of the solution, like if you want to ensure a secured access for the users, you are just focusing on that solution. Basically, like I said, you are trying to address the secured access for the workforce, the users, whether it is geotagging, whether it is posture checks, whether it is access to the right applications in a very continuous fashion. You're able to revoke that access without any manual intervention if required. From the workforce, then you move into the workspace, which is the networks. You again, Cisco has got again multiple solutions around it in terms to address various areas of workplace. Network access control, which is one area, whether it is next generation firewalls to be implemented, could be a second area where you are looking at it. Whether it is micro segmentation of the application access and things like that is another area that people would look into it. And then from I think workplace, the customers would like to look at it, or the CISOs would like to look at it at the what do you call the data. So in that space, again, you want to ensure, because a lot of workloads have moved on to the cloud, you want to ensure that there is quite granularity in terms of access. This access is again completely integrated. All the products speak to each other in terms of sharing any threat intel. So that's where your complete adoption of zero trust will become holistic. So when you want to revoke an access for a user, it is not just to the application, it is also to the network. So you can't look at this particular framework or technology in a piecemeal perspective, or just address one problem area. You have to look at end to end and ensure that you're partnering with a vendor जो आपको एक complete holistic approach देगा, and who also takes care of your implementation part, services part, or the tax support part in general. So Cisco has got a large investment on these areas to take care of either the day to support, or I would say the customer experience in terms of implementation and things like that. So I think we are trying to address it not just from a product perspective, but from a services perspective also.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insights. It was really nice.